and welcome back to my channel. I'm super happy that you're here today. Today we are going to be talking about the update. I know that everybody is super excited for Friday, myself included, but I gotta be honest with you guys, I've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed as well, and I figured I can't be the only one who's feeling this way, so I thought that we could talk about it, and I've sat down and thought of some things that I think might help you if you are feeling overwhelmed about all of the new things coming to Animal Crossing, to just feel a little less overwhelmed. Before we get into it, I do want to mention that this grocery store I'm standing in front of is my latest speed build, so if you haven't seen it yet and you'd like to check it out, I'll go ahead and link it above for you. But while we chat, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to work on this little section of my island. I'm trying to create like a I don't know, like a convenience store, gas station kind of deal. So we're gonna do a little bit of chatting, a little bit of decorating here. Hopefully you guys enjoy this more like casual, chatty style video. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments below, but let's chat about the update. So I'm not gonna lie, I was so excited when I first saw the direct trailer, and then quickly that excitement just sort of turned into just me being so overwhelmed by all the new things that I just didn't know what to take in first, and I honestly felt less excited, and I could feel myself just like pulling away from the game just a little bit because it's just a lot to take in. So I did think of some things that I thought were going to help me to feel a little bit less overwhelmed about all of the things that are coming to us on Friday, and so I thought I might share some of my thoughts with you guys. I do want to mention that these are all my opinions. Makes me think of that audio, like, it's my opinion!
That's my opinion!
But these are all of my opinions. It's not the gospel truth. If you don't agree, it's totally fine. I know that we all have our own hot takes on these things, and that's totally cool. But here are my tips. So the first thing I thought of was to just stick to the free content first. So there's nothing saying that you have to dive into the DLC right away or dive into any of it right away if you don't want to. I think that starting with the free content is a really great place to start, especially because it is free. And I feel like there's so many good things to dive into when it comes to the free content. So definitely limit yourself to that first. And the next thing is kind of included into diving into the free content first. And I would say to pick one aspect of that content to integrate into your designs. So some ideas might be, maybe there's one furniture set that you think is going to look really amazing on your island, and maybe just incorporate those items first. The last I had heard, we were getting like nearly 100 new items, and trying to like take a stab at incorporating all of those all at once, I feel like is just way too much. So maybe pick the one that intrigues you the most. Maybe if you're working on a specific style on your island, you could pick the one that suits your theme the best, and just kind of go with that. I do feel like that's a great way to start without feeling too overwhelmed by all of the new things all at once. Another thing that you could do is just stick to the customizable fencing. I feel like the fence customization adds so much dimension into your island, and it can really change the overall look of your island as well with just that one simple detail. So I feel like even though that seems like a really small thing to start with, I do feel like it could be very impactful in terms of the overall design. You could also just dive into the crops that we're getting. We're getting some incredible crops, and I feel like people are going to do some really amazing things as far as like farming islands. So you could just dive into that and into the cooking, and I feel like that incorporates a lot of different gameplay. So I feel like that would also be a really good place to start. And then we're also getting so many different options for customizing house interiors. I'm really excited about this. I've honestly not really gotten super involved in decorating houses, so I'm very excited to kind of take a stab at house decorating. I feel like that is going to be, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to enjoy doing that more than I previously did, especially because we're able to divide rooms now. We're able to create little accent walls. I feel like there are a lot of things that we can do that we couldn't do before, so I feel like that would be a really great thing to dive into if you haven't already. So tip number 3 is to choose one area on your island to kind of revamp. So if you're not completely restarting or flattening your island, I think picking one little section of your island that maybe you weren't completely happy with and making some small changes or completely tearing down and redoing that. By revamping just one section of your island, I feel like that's a very bite-sized way of attacking this update without allowing yourself to get too overwhelmed by all of the new things that are coming to us. So my next idea is to decide whether or not the grind is for you. And what I mean by that is I see a lot of talk about how many Nook miles we're going to need if you wanted to buy every single new item at the exact same time. And while I definitely understand being impatient, I myself am a very impatient person. I do not like waiting for things, but I also don't like really grinding for items. I find it to be super duper boring. Definitely makes me feel a lot more burnt out when I play that way. And if that's you, if you feel that way as well, I definitely recommend not pressuring yourself to grind for the Nook miles and for bells right away. I feel like that's a great way to make yourself feel burnt out before you even get to the actual nitty-gritty of the update. Now, for some people, I think that grinding is very relaxing and something that they really enjoy to do. And if that's you, then you should absolutely grind for them. And I just think that you should do what is going to be most fun for you and not feel like you have to have every single new item all at once or you've somehow failed the update. For me, I have a few Nook miles in the bank already on my other island, so I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. And I do feel like collecting these items bit by bit is also going to help me to not feel as overwhelmed because naturally it's going to take me some time to get every single new item. My last tip for you is to just remember that it's your game. You're playing the game for you. And so if whatever you're doing isn't working for you, don't feel pressured to follow some sort of trend or something like that. Just remember that it's your game. If you feel like flattening your island is going to make you feel more excited to play, then you should absolutely flatten your island. If you feel like restarting your island is going to make you feel more excited to play, then you should restart your island. But if you don't feel like flattening or restarting and you just want to keep your island the way it is, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and there's no pressure to do that if you don't feel like doing it. So I think remembering that trends are amazing and trends can be very inspiring, but there's no pressure to keep up with the Animal Crossing trends. It's your game and you should play in whatever way makes you feel happiest. For me personally, I definitely use this game as somewhat of a coping mechanism. It's definitely a healthy escape from the world. It definitely helps me to feel a lot less anxious, and I know that for a lot of people, Animal Crossing is something that they do that helps them with their mental health. So remember that this is a game that you play to make you feel good, and you don't need to play by anybody else's rules but your own. All right, guys, and that is the end of this little hardware store slash convenience store slash gas station build, as well as a little bit of a rant about the update. I hope that it helped you guys. If you're also feeling overwhelmed, definitely let me know if you have any strategies for how you're going to be tackling the update on Friday, and if this video was helpful to you at all. I really hope that it was. I do want to take a second to thank the members of the Fox fam. Thank you guys so much for supporting my content here on this channel. You can also support the channel by liking and subscribing and hitting that notification bell if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!